Today is September the 23rd, 2020. This is the Service Hero Show, 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter. I am your host, and this is the show that shares the inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. So let's do this. Today we have a very special guest, a service hero that, oh my goodness, as I was talking with her right before we went on the show, I'm already telling her, I am so, you just fall in love with people, and may I just say this, that Gloria Grace Rand is one of those people. She is truly a service hero, yet let me tell you something. I'm not going to be the one to right now brag about her. I have someone else that's going to. So let's make that happen. Let me just get this ready right here, right now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Renee Reich, and I'm one of Tamara Hunter's ambassadors at cb4l.org. This week, I've been given the great honor and pleasure of introducing one of her guests on E360 TV, her service hero, Gloria Grace Rand. Gloria Grace Rand is an amazing service hero. Today you're going to find out why and how she was able to be that service hero for her sister when she was battling cancer. I look forward to hearing this great show, and I will hand it over to you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
There you go. So yes, Renee Reich actually did nominate Gloria Grace Rand as our service hero today. And I wanted her to personally say, welcome to the show. And how did that feel?
That was awesome, especially because Renee is a new friend that I've made, and I am just so blessed to have her in my life. We just really clicked when we connected, and I really appreciate her connecting the two of us, because when I saw what you were all about, I was like, oh, yes, this is someone who definitely has an awesome mission in this world. And if any way that I can support you, I'm there. I want to do it.
Well, there you go. I love it. I love it. And I want to recognize those that are coming to the show right now. We have Carol Batterzins. Carol is out of Canada. She is one of our production people here within the show and one of the senior ambassadors for our nonprofit. And she also, you'll get this. And guys, you're going to understand this a little bit more because we have a pro with us today. She lets me know, everything is good regarding, we're live and sound check and everything. And she does that through the comments. I love it. I love it. And then we have Ruben. Ruben is on station. He too is a service hero. And thank you for your service. He's one of our Navy SEALs that has now gone on to other things. And he is calling people to the show right now. I love it. I love it. And yes, beautiful Renee Reich, loving that. And we do have time to move, hashtag time to move. And that's something that when you and I get into your story a little bit more, I think that you're going to really just love hearing about. Mm-hmm. So let's get to this. You are, and I'm going to start with the obvious, kind of in the fact that you're here with me, and I just was talking about Carol doing, and right here, sound is good. You can relate to that, can't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's my background is in television, and I used to produce shows, just although for broadcast as opposed to just the limited area of broadcast television as opposed to this wonderful unlimited internet TV that we have now today. Yeah, it's
you did traditional, the
Mhm.
traditional route.
Yeah, my background is, I used to be I started off with doing several different jobs, but my ending job was writer, and I was a backup producer for the Nightly Business Report when it was on public television, not the version that was on CNBC, but when it was on public television. um, Back in the, let's see, late 80s into the 90s, I worked for that show, and it was an awesome experience. It really was. I was there, just to give you an idea, I was there. Do you remember the 1987 crash? Well,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
stock
yeah.
market crash? Okay,
I remember it extremely well because I was a recruiter during that time.
okay.
And I was in Orange County, California. And we were having, you talk about duck and jab
Mhm.
and move on a dime and change and shift and all sorts of things, because it was affecting so many industries and so many things, kind of like did the whole domino effect. Yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah, well, at that time, I had just actually only been working there a couple years, and my job at the time was actually typing in things that everyone is seeing on the screen now, typing in the numbers, typing in people's names. I was a character generator operator, and so we were just in shock watching the Dow fall all day long, and then we go on the air live at 6:30 p.m. and like a minute even still before we went on the air, I was still updating some of the boards because the volume was so huge on this New York Stock Exchange, and numbers were just changing all the time, and it was a really crazy day, but it was exciting, and yeah, I really enjoyed working in live television. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of educational, and I worked with a wonderful staff, wonderful people, and it was a great experience.
And I will say this, because with this particular show, the Service Hero Show, it has evolved, and you'll find this funny, Gloria. Now, do I call you Gloria or Gloria Grace? I want to make sure I've heard that right.
Gloria is good. I've added the middle. Well, it's been my middle name my entire life, but I started using it professionally a couple years ago as I started expressing and exploring my spirituality. So, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah, we're going to
But
talk
Gloria's
about
good
it.
enough. I've been
Yeah,
Gloria
okay.
my whole life.
I love it. Well, Grace is my grandmother's name, so
Oh.
I love that name.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
little partial to it. Wink, wink, guys. I have every right to be. And so, this particular show, it's interesting that now we're on the E360 TV platform, which then streams actually, worldwide on millions of screens. And I started this because I was at a summit representing the nonprofit that we're going to, and we're going to get into how you relate to that. And someone was like, "Are you going live?" I'm like, "I can't even find a file in my computer. What do you mean go live?" And then they're like, "Well, about posting and stuff, and and I started having buddies that were coming. However, and I knew we were doing it online. It was crazy. And they're like, "Well, what about hashtagging and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that because I haven't gotten into like having to buy a hashtag yet." Oh, they were busting up. They were busting up. And so that there was a challenge made. And for me to just even go live, it was really ridiculously funny, 60 something days. And I finally was able to get a guest on. And so, and to talk to you about this, because you actually, from what you were saying, you started in school, and this is how life is so interesting, how it works. You started in school in business.
Yeah, business major, exactly. And then was just, flunking out of economics and just was like totally confused about any of that stuff. Math and was just not doing well. So I changed my major to TV production and was very happy with that. And then wound up working for a business show.
I
Okay.
love it. I love it. I love it. And that's what's so funny about this, because it's like, okay, you have to buy a hashtag, and they're like, no, no, no. Let's look at this. And life will oftentimes present us with an opportunity to really go. We were talking about this, where
Yeah.
we're meant to go. And here you were in the business, area because of education, and then you went. We're gonna go there in just a moment. I'm going to bring up right now some images, because you you have also a title that is a really more right now, and you're known as the Insightful Copywriter. And I want to go there, and then we're going to go back in time a little bit again. And yet I got to know, who's your little buddy there? So beautiful.
That is Jackson, and we've had him for about 3, 4, probably 4 years by now. Yes, I grew up having Siamese cats, and I've missed them. We've had a couple black cats in our lives the last few years. We have 2 black dogs, but I kind of missed having a Siamese. And then of course I forgot just how vocal they can be.
And so that cartoon that we are Siamese, if you
Yeah.
please.
Oh,
They
yeah.
really are kind of communicators or singers or something.
Big time. But he's a big lovey-dovey. He's just a big sweetheart. So, and he
Very,
likes
very.
to keep me company occasionally.
And so you've gone from, and then we're going to go backwards again, but you've gone from the production. You went through school, then you went into production, almost 2 decades, so nearly 20 years in the production area.
Right.
And now you're producing again and working with others with copywriting and teaching and such things. You've got your own podcast.
I
now,
do. Yeah.
and it seems to be pretty. I mean, of course, it would be pretty successful in all sorts of platforms and all sorts of neat stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm very, very proud of it, and I've been doing it for, it's been almost a year already. I started last December, and I'm interviewing now. I don't broadcast it live, but I do record it live. And so I don't, because I'll have guests say, well, are you going to edit this out? I'm like, no, we're just going to have a conversation. It's going to be fine. Because I would just assume, I want people to just see us being, have them being themselves. And it's really, I love doing it because I'm sharing practical advice for entrepreneurs and small business owners on how to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically with a spiritual perspective on that. And it's really been such a joy to do this. I've been having such a blast with it.
I love it, and I love your logo and just all of the look and feel of it. And you're on all sorts of different platforms, and live, love, engage. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into a little bit of live, love, engage, and really dive into the whys, and because they're significant. And we tell the inspiring stories of those inspiring others. You are doing that right now, and yes, we've made the case that you got the experience, and what you're talking about when it comes to copywriting, because you've done that. PBS, one of the major shows, been there at times where, I mean, you talk about energy and what could have been, and stress even. You're talking some of the very significant times in our world when it comes to business. And knowing PBS as I do, and where that shows, you're working on a global level of what is happening out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, the show was, I think it was on like the Armed Forces Network or something. So it really was seen not only here in the United States, but it was seen globally. But I've been the live, love, engage came about really, actually, it actually is from my sister. It's through the experience she had. She was diagnosed with cancer in July 2015, and through her 18-month journey with that, actually a couple months before she transitioned, I've had, number one, I've had a meditation practice for years. And
Okay.
It really helps me with stress, and definitely helped me in being a caregiver, or, when I was helping my sister. But in October of 2016, one morning after during a meditation, this idea popped in my head that I call this divine download, and it was to write a book about love. And I remember going, what? I deal with marketing. What are you talking about? What do I know about love? This is crazy. But as I, still sort of meditate on it, love was an acronym. And it's actually, it's 4 steps of, really, as I've come to explore it, and I sort of put it on the back burner for a little while when my sister was having, she eventually went into hospice care and that. But it's all about how to stop doubting yourself and start being yourself, is what I've really come to believe. And it was something that I had to learn. That's why God gave this to me. I had to learn it first so that I could teach other people. And so that's essentially where the Live, Love, Engage came from.
And isn't that how the lessons come, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you got to get through it, and yes, our community talks about healing through, because you got to go through, and then the connection. And so when your sister was diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
and you were telling me, because I asked, and you said that you're at a point now where you're okay to talk about it, and thank you, because it's going to be very helpful for others to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
And she was you were saying that she was a massage therapist?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was a massage therapist. She was healthy, got cancer. And it was like, totally out of the blue. All of a sudden, she called me, and she's like, Gloria, I don't understand. I'm having this strange pain in my psoas muscle, which I'm like, what the heck is your psoas muscle? Because I didn't know, but she knew, of course, because she deals with the body. And she's like, well, it's kind of like down, I don't even remember, but sort of above, I don't know. Anyway, people
we're on the bottom.
Google it. But the point was, it was affecting her. She was in a lot of pain. It was giving her a lot of pain. She was having, and eventually really had trouble walking. And so when she finally went to a doctor, they thought, actually, the doctor suspected that it was ovarian cancer. And so when she went in for an ultrasound and then eventually did surgery, it turned out that it wasn't. It was something called rhabdomyosarcoma. And she had a tumor the size of a grapefruit that was lodged in her psoas muscle. So they weren't even able to take it out at that point. So they said, no, we're going to have to do like radiation chemotherapy and try to shrink it, and then see if we can take it out at a later date. So it was tough, because they did also say it was stage 4. And so you go through all of the, the denial and the anger and all of that. And I went into fix-it mode. I'm like, okay, we need to take care of this, and, whatever it takes, I'll do. But my sister was not really, she wanted it taken care of, but at the same time, she wasn't able, or she was reluctant to really explore like alternative therapies and things until really closer to, took about another year, when she was finally got tired of the chemo, because the chemo proved to be harder on the body than it did shrink the tumor a little bit, but not enough. And then it just was really she was finding it harder and harder to fight back from it every time, because it kills all the other good cells in your body.
Right. Yeah. Any of us that have been through it, which, for those that don't know my story, I am also a survivor, a warrior, as many of us are calling ourselves. And yeah, I mean, everything from, I lost my nails, both, my toenails, my fingernails. Of course we lose,
I
a
hear,
lot of
yeah,
other stuff.
right.
Yeah. And a lot of side effects. However, one of the things I will say, and I talk about this a lot within our community, within the nonprofit, the buddies, is that a lot of it has to do with our belief. Our belief that we're going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, my doctor kept saying I won a side effect, trophy, because I had so many of them. However, I knew going in that I was going to be okay. I knew it, no
Yeah.
matter what the results were, because of my belief systems also. However, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I get to call my nurses and doctors again today because I have another side effect. And it was like, oh yay, I get to visit my friends. It's all about mindset.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that you're really big about, because you both came from a tough childhood.
Yeah. We grew. Yeah, my dad was an alcoholic, and my mom, God bless her, did the best she could, but she also, I can't even imagine having to be married to somebody like that, because it also made her short-tempered, although she might have been. She's Hungarian, so I think Hungarians have a good temper anyway, because I know I do too. So, but but it was rough. I mean, I got a black eye once for not wanting to eat peas, things like that. I mean, that was the only time she really hit me enough to hurt me. It was more verbal abuse that I had to deal with. But yeah, it was tough. And I know my sister, actually, her and my older brother, they actually even had it, I think, 10 times worse than I did, because my mom eventually started working full time when I was growing up. So I think that helped her, to be out of the house and be a little bit more independent.
Right. And I'm going to bring up one of your quotes here, that there is no such thing as a problem without a gift for you in its hands. You seek problems because you need their gifts. And this is beautiful. And your quotes are just so, like, whoa, that deep and beautiful and real. And some of them are your own, some of them you've picked out from others, and you do an excellent job in sharing them. And this one here, when I was thinking about it, the problem and the gift, because we talk about in #Time to Move, we talk about the fact that today is a gift. It is the present, and there is a present in the gift, which we call today, right? Yeah. And it's all about, again, looking for that gift. However, there's not a promise that there's not going to be the difficulties in so many people right now. That's why that's why I'm saying the date of the shows. There are so many people that are experiencing challenges upon challenges upon challenges.
Absolutely.
And so in the situation with your sister and yourself, you grew up in the house and in a family that there was these issues, and then you both are facing your sister's diagnosis.
Yeah.
And there were two different ways that it was looked at, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I'm writing a book right now, and I've mentioned this in the book, that one of the things that my sister, half jokingly said, she was like, really, God, did you have to give me cancer to teach me a lesson to ask for help? Because she prided herself, again, on being very independent. When you grow up in a household where things are out of control, you like to have control in your life. And I know I felt the same way. And so now suddenly this is something that's, a bit more out of control. It's like, oh, crap. And, we also had a challenge in that she lived in Arizona. I lived in Florida. So I wasn't able to be out there all the time to be with her. So she really did have to depend on friends and coworkers to help her, take her to chemotherapy treatments or just to other doctor's appointments or get groceries or what have you. We didn't have quite as much, even now, the delivery stuff like they do now. I mean, if this had been, now, she might have had actually fared a little bit better in being able to get people to bring stuff to her,
Right. Because this was back in 2015, July 2015. And as I'm thinking about that, even the fact that we can do the Zooms and the video conferencing or video calls and see each other, where like I was diagnosed back at the end of 2014, so I was still in treatment myself in 2015 too, and I the whole program that we have was because I would type to my buddy. I lost my voice, right? And so I'm thinking about this, and the two sisters living far away from each other. Were you able to do any kind of video calling at all?
I don't remember us really doing video calls too much. I think we probably just called, especially because I think I had an iPhone. She probably didn't, so I don't know. I don't remember, but we did stay in touch. And then, I would go out there as often as possible and spend time with her. And that was again another gift, actually, really, I think, for the both of us, because she was 10 years older than me. So we didn't really grow up together exactly, and so we really got to compare childhoods. We shared memories. One of my fondest memories was baking Christmas cookies together in her house, and she would make the ones that were her favorites that turned out to be my favorites too. And of course she would say, Gloria, you need to flatten it out a little bit more, and darn if she wasn't right, because they turned out better. But it was like,
I love it.
So that's why I say those are the things I can look back now and really be grateful for.
Right. And I'm going for the next one, and I'm going to bring this up because here we have, don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again, and meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends. And I'm going to add, and sisters and loved ones and so many more, because as I was reading this one and getting to know your story, I'm thinking, wow, that has to do with your sister, but yet so many people can relate to this today, because we're not seeing each other in the same way that we used to see each other. And because it's been going on for so long, some have had to move and change locations, and there's a lot going on here. And also the thing with the water, I'm seeing that the lessons that you learned when you started reading or doing some lessons from a book, you've got the living water, you've got the thought of, of hope, of belief, and I'm seeing the love also in the image, and that comes a lot with, because you started reading a book that made a bit, or you started working with a book.
I did.
That made a big difference in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was recommended, and I know someone else I think I'd mentioned it maybe even a couple years before, but I wasn't ready to hear it. But this time around, someone recommended A Course in Miracles. She was actually a counselor that I was seeing at the time, and she said, don't like start at the beginning, just jump right to the daily lessons and do those every day, read those every day. And I was amazed. It's a year's worth of, and they're very short. It would take me 10 minutes in the morning. And it was so powerful. I was just, it really did shift my energy, shifted my thoughts, helped me to start dealing with the grief of losing my sister so much better. And it's something I'm still now going back now and actually reading the whole text of it now. And of course, I've read Marianne Williamson's Return to Love, which deals with it as well. And there's another book by Alan Cohen, but I almost want to say it's like a simple guide to A Course in Miracles. I don't have the title exactly right, but again, it really goes through. There's just so many beautiful lessons in there of how to love ourselves and to be able to love each other. And yeah, it really made a big difference. And the Richard Bach quotes are from, I'm trying to remember the name of the book, but it's something about I want to say Reluctant Messiah or something. It's it's a very short book. I think he wrote it before Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And
I'm thinking I have read that one. I know I of course everybody knows Jonathan Livingston.
Yeah.
It's
wow, just gems in there. Yeah, it's good.
Well, and then you are led through your lifetime by the inner learning creature, the playful spiritual being that is your real self. I love this one because this is where you start, you're sharing this, Richard Bach again, and you have these here. And I know you share these because you have different days that you have, like you've done lives, and you'll take a word for the day, or you'll have a thought or whatever it may be, because you're constantly out there with others. And I saw that you were really engaged with when COVID started, right around that March time. It was like, whoa, look at what you're doing. And I want to say thank you for that, because so many people need that. And what is the name of the book? It's the Course in Miracles. It's the same one, Carol, that Skip and we talked about it a couple times back in Travel Tuesday in the closed group. If you want to go back there, and there's more information on it too. Course in Miracles, right?
Yeah. And it's Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. That was the other one. That's the one by Richard Bach.
Awesome. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to fast forward here, or I'm going to bring this one back up here too, because thriving in the face of fear. Right now, there are many that are feeling that fearful energy and this word.
Yeah.
I would love to hear from you what it is why it is that you had this for one of your Tuesday trainings, and what it is that you shared.
Well, I was essentially sharing what I'm writing about in the book, which is, like I said, it's these 4 pillars, and it's love is an acronym. And so the first one is to let go and let God. And it's really about letting go of all sorts of things, your limiting beliefs, letting go of the fear, and being able to trust that God has your back, and that you're always gonna have some fear, but if you can really start just letting go of your attachment to it, and just to be able to let God into your heart, that's one of the things. The second O is for open your heart to receive, and it's about really letting in love, essentially, but also lots of different things, but open yourself up to the good that's out there, and not dwelling so much on the fear and what's going wrong, but being open to there's so much abundance out in our world, so much beauty. Just look at the plants and animals and birds, and if you can focus in on some of that and start being more grateful for whatever good things there are in your life, then that'll help you to start focusing in on more of that. It becomes this really good snowball effect. Yeah, that's a good word.
Right. Absolutely. It's a very good word. And about that. Now, I'm going to bring up a clip that you shared with me in regards to one of your favorite quotes. And I think this is a really good time to bring it up. And then we're going to go into another area of your life in just a moment.
Hi, I am Gloria Grace Rand, and my favorite quote is one that I came up with, which is, "Life is meant to be lived. The only thing standing in your way is you."
I love that. The life is meant to be lived. Mm-hmm. The only thing standing in our way is you. Yeah. And isn't that the truth?
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I've spent years being in my own way, and now I've come to the conclusion. Yeah, it's enough. And I think that other quote you talked about something. I think it mentioned something about being playful or something, and I
Yes.
think I am spending my mornings now because I interviewed someone not too long ago who deals with like laughter yoga and stuff, and she recommends find something to laugh about every day. And so I am definitely, I'm going on YouTube looking for bloopers or whatever things, and just making sure that I have some time to laugh because life is too short and there's so much drama in the world. Let's have some fun. We need more fun.
Yes, okay. I'm going to share the clip that we have for our nonprofit, because we talk about that in our group. In fact, every 4 weeks on a Tuesday, we have laughter yoga. And we gather together, and I'm online, so, on air. So it's really funny to watch it. It's like all the things you do,
Yep.
and yet, it really, no matter how you feel when you start, you do feel great about it.
Yeah,
afterwards.
It's so good for you.
I'm going to bring this up because it talks about the humor piece of it. So here we go.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Okay, so you got me all cryy now.
I saw that when it was going on, and I'd love to talk about what you're feeling right now, if you're open.
Yeah, well, it was, I wished I'd known about this when my sister was going through this, because I'm not sure we talked about this, but she was divorced. She didn't have any kids, so she lived alone, and so basically relied on me or friends or coworkers to help her out during this time. And I felt really bad that I couldn't be there all the time. And it's really hard. And sometimes her friends would call and go, "Gloria, when are you coming back out here? Because Michaela's getting a little, you get angry, she was, and she got mean sometimes because of, pain and dealing with all this stuff. And, and it's like, that's why when I found out about what you were doing, I was like, oh, that is so awesome. I think it's just the best thing, because nobody should have to struggle through this stuff alone. Nobody.
No. And, thank you for sharing that, because, in truth, many of us, this was produced by one of our board members. He's a Emmy-winning director, videographer, and he's also a survivor, and he knows our community extremely well, and he was able to capture what it is, to see your reaction. I have to say, it we all need to have validation, and to get that kind of validation as we're on our journey in making a difference in others' lives. And thank you for sharing that right now, because yes, the whole idea is that we can be there for each other, and And what was interesting is that a lot of this is online. And so we were I don't want to say it wrong. However, when we were put in isolation, a lot of people, that was new to them. However,
Yeah.
for someone going through, cancer and treatment, they have to be removed from
That's
society
true. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
for their protection. And
Right.
so we were able to be there for them. And I want to go into now, you understand this piece of it because you also have gone into being a health and wellness coach. And I brought up an image of you, and I know this was one of the first ones, and then
Yeah,
you've done it again. However, I thought, okay, it's bright and cheery and it's fun, and and it gives the idea. You decided to get healthy, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's well, I've spent a lifetime, losing weight and putting it back on again. The yo-yo dieter, oh yeah, been there, done that. And back in 2015, my husband also was dealing with needing to lose some weight, and so we. I saw a friend of mine had just had tremendous results, and I'm like, what are you doing? And so they told us about this program, and so my husband said, well, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And I said, well, you know what? I'll do it with you because I could stand to lose a few pounds myself because I kind of had put them on again. And so I went on this journey with him, and yeah, I lost I think 45 pounds or something.
Wow.
And, yeah, in fact, it was. Yeah, because then when my sister passed, I gave myself permission to eat my grief, and I put on exactly the same amount of pounds that I took off. So I had to do it again. But the good part of it was that I just did the program again, and it worked again because I figured, okay, I had tried a couple different things in the interim, nothing was working. I'm like, okay, I know this worked the last time. I'm going to do it again. And so I did. And so while everybody was on lockdown this year, I was actually following the program. So I actually did lose weight earlier this year instead. But yeah, I've also have decided that this is it. It's like no more of this yo-yo stuff. 10 pounds is going to be my limit of how much I will let myself, go. Because once in a while you do like to, I like food and I like to indulge a little bit from time to time. And I also know in just now doing so much more reading and being aware and seeing my sister go through her journey that, yeah, health is so important. We really, this is the body that we were given, and we really do need to treat it like a temple. I think I think it says that in the Bible that we need to. This is what we're given, and I have a goal that I want to live another 50 years. So I want to be over 100, and I want to be at sound in mind, body, and soul. So I gotta take care of myself.
I love that. And statistically, we are in that generation that we can, and that's one of the things I'm so thrilled about you saying that. And you got to break down before you break out, because that's the way you break through. And you had a breakthrough. You had a breakthrough, and I'm just seeing you, like that's you there, and many, 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 many others right now, and this is one of your quotes, Gloria Grace Rand, and how appropriate is this for so many? And right now, we got to break down. Many are saying, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm there. Okay, so before you break out, okay. And someone would say, me, well, I can't break out because we're in lockdown. Well, it's figurative, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's mental. Yeah.
Before you break through, and the breakthrough is that aha,
exactly. Yes,
I got this. I love this. Absolutely, I love it. I love it. And then I'm going to share here, because what you're now sharing out there a lot is that the exercise to be fit, not skinny, eat to nourish your body, and always ignore, and then all of the haters and all that stuff. And you are worth more than you realize. That, I think, that last part is where a lot of people struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's actually what I've been writing about a lot lately over the last week. And um, because, yeah, when we're kids, our parents mean well, but we start getting told no, and because they're trying to keep us safe. But somehow, sometimes we start misinterpreting in that as that there's something wrong with us. And so, we don't necessarily think that consciously, but some of that stuff just kind of still plays in. And we have to remember that, you are God's gift to the world. I believe you're created in God's image. And not only that, even more than that is that you are really of God, and so you are a divine creature, and you are absolutely worth everything in the world. You're worthy just by breathing,
I
really.
love it. I
Mm.
love it. You're worthy by breathing. And then healthy eating is not about denying yourself and having nothing nice to eat. It's exactly the opposite. And for some, there are so many foodies, and truthfully, I'm really not. That's not my thing. But there are a lot that are, and when you are, that can seem like, I've got some really good friends that they talk about the fact that when someone invites them to a party, the first thought they have is, oh, what's the food going to be? What do I need to bring to share? What are we going to eat? That's one of the first things they go to. And for someone that doesn't cook, it's like, however, I go into other places. And so this is letting people know we don't have to deny ourselves. We
Right.
don't have to, that we are worthy of being the special people that we are, and we have every right to be enjoying our life, including what we eat, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is actually fascinating sometimes that when I do cut out, some of the, a little bit more processed foods, shall we say, and things with a little bit too much sugar, and I'm starting to eat more whole foods and fresh vegetables and fresh stuff it starts to really, really taste good. And then when I go back and I have something else, it's like, ooh, it's like too sweet, or it's too greasy or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, give me back the good stuff. So we can retrain our bodies even, because I think our bodies really crave that. We can condition it one way, and then we can go back and condition it back into really appreciating things that are alive and that make us feel alive.
Absolutely. And I want to share this. Okay, guys, get ready for a little grossness, but it makes an important a point.
Oh, I think I know.
And that
I
is,
do it.
so you're only 1 pound. This
Yeah.
is 1 pound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and oftentimes and especially right now, there's a lot of people calling it COVID pounds, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And first of all, time out, guys. That is still a pound.
Mhm.
What, you can name it whatever you want it. It's
Yeah.
still a pound. And celebrate. That's what I'm getting from this, even though it's like, oh,
I know.
but
Yeah.
however, celebrate when we are having success.
Mhm.
And there was another image that I didn't capture, and I should have. However, you also said, don't be so upset about the fluctuation, a pound or two, one with another, because that's called life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, one of my clients last year, she'd done really well, and then she's like, "Oh, Gloria, I'm going to Italy, and I'm kind of concerned that I'm going to, put some pounds on." I'm like, "So what if you do? Big deal. You can come back and go right back on plan and get it off again. Go enjoy yourself. Have the pasta. It's okay." And so she did actually, some of what we offer has sort of pre-made fuelings and things, and so she took some of those with her. But she did also, she had her limoncello, and she had a couple things, and I think she maybe put on 2 pounds. It was like, but she enjoyed herself, and that's what I wanted her to do, because as we know now, she wouldn't have been able to go back to Italy this year, so it was a good thing she went last year, and she was able to enjoy her time with her family and have fun and enjoy the food.
And back to that enjoyment thing. And Ruben is saying, 1 Corinthians, Do you not know that your bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You do not belong to yourself. And thank you for sharing that. And what you as we start to wrap this up, you really are about the full circle now, because you have taken your production background, your business sense, your copyright, you are the insightful copywriter, and you have the podcast, and you're sharing online yourself through, video and radio, plus writing the books. And you're helping people to understand that we can have full lives with love and be successful in business also, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's no reason why you can't have it all, as they say. But first and foremost is to just really just love life, get a lot of love out of life and have fun, no matter what you're doing. And even if you're working a job, have the most fun and enjoyment that you can get out of that. And that's all that matters, to be able to love yourself, love others, and just have fun in life.
We have one of our senior ambassadors, Sherry McQueen. You're going to have to watch this. If you haven't been here the whole time, you're going to have to watch this in replay. You are going to love this. And so as we start to close, I want to share this, and this was on your page. On a mission to live my best life. That's where you're at, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've settled for too long and done things, I'm a wife and a mother and a business owner, and so I want to be able to take care of my family, take care of my husband, take care of my clients. But I've really got to start taking care of me first, because if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be around to take care of all those people anyway. So, it's just like they say when you're on a plane that you got to put that oxygen mask on yourself first before you do it for anyone else. And so that's why I'm taking care of me. I'm first.
And the message here is start where you are with what you have, because what you have is plenty. And what you right now have been doing, it looks like, in everything that I did for studying, is that you are saying that right now is the day and you have enough.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And there's more than enough in today, the present, the gift, as you're talking about, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Because you can't change what happened. Well, in a way, you can change what happens in the past. If we had more time, I'd tell you about that, because I've learned how to do that recently. But we don't know what the future is going to hold. So right now, this is what we've got. So make it the best you can. Right now.
Excellent. I want to say thank you for being here today, because you are definitely such an inspiration. You're an inspiration to me and many, many others I know, because they are already following you. And I'm sure you're going to have plenty more that are going to want to, because you share with your heart. You also have been there. You understand the struggles in so many different ways. And you really, truly are a service hero, serving so many.
Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have been here on this show today and been able to connect with you and connect with everyone. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Well, thank you. And for those that want to follow you and find out more, this is your website, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Good place to go. And then you can find me on social media everywhere as well. Just
you're everywhere. I noticed that. It's really cool. You're good at it. And so, I was learning from you, and I love it. I love learning. And you do. You share and you give, and you're doing a lot of that right now. And we all need the love. We all need the love. And you're sharing how you really got there deep in your soul. And thank you for being so real and sharing with us today, including, I will end on this, because what was said here is that I don't know if you saw it, is Carol said, "Thank you, Gloria, for sharing your thoughts and your tears of joy." Yes.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Well, everyone, I'm so thrilled that we have been able to recognize Gloria today as the service hero she is. And I want to say again, thank you to Renee Reich for suggesting and nominating Gloria. If anybody has someone to nominate, yes, I'd love to hear about it. So let me know. I am taking nominations for service heroes, and we are on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern. And you can find us on the E360 TV platform and social media and a lot of other places. All right. So thank you so much. Make it a great day. And for the buddies, we'll see you in the closed group tonight. Bye, everyone.